Good morning, friends. Happy Wednesday. It is July 30th, the last Wednesday of the month. And hopefully you've had a great July. Hopefully your summer is going well and you are moving toward your goals, that you're experiencing success and sharing that success with others. Um, Good morning, friends. We have friends from Orlando, from Tennessee, from Illinois, from Nevada. Hello, hello, welcome. Yeah, how do I pick one thing, says Tony. My experience is the key is to pick as many specific things as you can. The universe loves specificity. So if we can be, um, instead of just saying thank you for all my blessings, we say thank you for the way the sun is hitting the window this morning and warming my face, making my plants grow, all the things, right? So be specific. It's there's power there. Same thing with the miracles that we're calling in, the blessings that we're asking for. The more specific, the more likely they are to show up, and with the same level of specificity. So try it out. It works. I want to share with you a principle today that Laura Jacobs just taught me yesterday. And if any of you have been to any of the trainings that Natalie and I have done for the last probably 8 years, then you have definitely seen or heard of this concept of the law of diffusion of innovation. It's a principle that's shared, I think it was developed by Clayton Christensen. I've got a screenshot here, so I'll share that. This is a great graphic that captures this concept. And this is kind of the cycle of adoption for any given product or service. There are always a very small number that we call innovators, about 2.5%, that they will grab onto some new thing and they'll run with it. And they don't care if there's any track record. Just the concept alone is enough to get them to buy. Then you have early adopters. They need a little bit more time um, to jump in and say, I'll try something new. But then you have this chasm that if a product can survive that chasm, they can reach the early, late majority, and finally the laggards. But this is kind of the tipping point where products either live or die. So for the iPhone, this was early days. Um, Gosh, I can't remember the versions, but probably version 3 or 4 of the iPhone is when they crossed the chasm and started reaching this early and late majority. Um, the late majority does need a lot more evidence. They need a lot more science. They need social proof. And then the laggards are the people who only adopt a product because they can't buy their old technology. So maybe these are the people who are using landline cell phones or landline phones and pagers, right? And so they only switch to the iPhone because they can't buy their old tech. So that is the law of diffusion of innovation. The principle that Laura just shared with us yesterday, we were having a mastermind, getting ready for um, um, convention. So we are planning our pre-convention event, and there was this really powerful principle. I think her name is Sue John. No, I think it's a Harvard, Whitney Johnson. Okay. So Whitney Johnson, um, I don't know all of her credentials, but she shares this concept of an S curve. And I'm going to share screen because I'm a visual guy. I know that many of you are too. So here is her idea that many products and services follow this product cycle, and so what she is taking is this early S shape, basically from the beginning until where it starts to plateau. And she's saying a company that is smart, or an innovator that is smart, will take this awareness, and they will create a space for people to reinvent themselves, or for the company to reinvent themselves on a cyclical basis, and keep riding from one S curve to the next. And that this is kind of what that would look like. So here's one S curve, and then they leapfrog to another S curve, and then to another S curve, on and on, if they want to keep growing. So the key here is to develop new skills, and to reinvent your message, reinvent your passion, the energy that you're bringing to an offering, so that you can ride another wave of growth. And one of the words that she uses to describe this is self-disruption. So we've probably heard this idea of, we're disrupting, the industry, we're disrupting the whole industry, space, whatever. Um, so this is taking that concept of disruption and applying it to, how can I apply that to myself? How can I create a wave of growth by disrupting my own patterns? And so this is a really powerful principle, especially, many of us have noticed in doTERRA that we've had, we were exclusively oils, right? Like we launched, we were just oils. Then the supplements came along, and so one of the S curves that we rode was lifelong vitality, right? And then a few years ago, MetaPower came out, and we created a new curve of growth. And now we have VMG, and we have some old guard people who are like, oh no, like we're not an oils company anymore. Like this is totally disrupting in a bad way. This is ruining my mojo. doTERRA is not the company it used to be. Well, the fact is, anyone who's strategic will see an opportunity to create a wave of growth in their business and in their world, if you can ride that wave of self-disruption. So maybe, and there's no have tos here, right? These are opportunities that, if you understand these principles, you can create your own reality, right? I've always believed that you are the creator of your world, that you can co-create with God through the changing of your perceptions, your beliefs, and that leads to a change of your actions, and that changes your results. So, um, so that is kind of where we see ourselves now. Um, doTERRA has put a lot of focus on lifestyle products. They're powered by essential oils, but they are not just essential oils. So you've noticed a lot of the supplements, the VMG Plus, the Z Omega, that the primary ingredients are not essential oils. And so I think Tony Robbins also talks about how humans have a need for stability, but we also have a need for variety. Like there's this constant need for something new. And so instead of always just chasing shiny new objects, like jumping from company to company, we can leverage our understanding of these business cycles, and as well as human cycles, to ride and create the next wave of growth. So wherever you are in your journey, maybe you first fell in love with oils, maybe you first fell in love with the supplements. Um, Regardless of where you were, take a look at this concept and say, how can I not reinvent myself, but how can I self-disrupt in order to create a wave of growth? Because whatever energy you bring is the energy that people will match. Your team will only grow as much as the energy you bring to your team. So So those are a couple of quick high-level intros to this S-curve concept. Hopefully you can see some some ways to apply that. If not, I'm more than happy to go there in our discussion today. Um, but the reason this came up is there was there was starting to be this heated debate over, are we an oils company or are we a supplement company? And and there's a real risk there if we go into either or thinking, right? There's power in saying and instead of either or. And so that's my invitation to you is to go into and thinking, and open yourself to the idea that maybe I've created some growth on one wave and maybe there's a huge opportunity to create growth with another wave. So those are a couple of quick thoughts today. Leverage the S curve. And there are obviously some great videos out there. If you just Google S curve Whitney Johnson, you'll find lots and lots of videos, um, podcasts, trying to see if she has any books. But I think she worked with Harvard on developing this concept. So, disrupt yourself is my invitation to you today. Awesome. Okay. Well, let's jump into some questions. I am here to take any questions. Could be business, it could be goals, it could be S curve. How do I apply this? So go ahead and raise your hand, and we can have this conversation. Trying to figure out why. There we go. Yeah, so raise your hand and we can bring you on live and answer any questions you've got. I'm here to serve you. Okay, Karina is giving us a huge amen. Disrupt yourself, right? Be the agent of change in your life. We don't really need a new product line. We don't need a new offering. If we can reinvent our passion, our message around the oils, I think that's where the power is. Okay, first question came through. I have people asking about the AI tool. So there was a short period after convention last year where the Essential Life book was not going to be available in print. And so one of the short-term solutions we came up with was to create this AI tool. The fact is, the Essential Life app is still there. It's still powerful. And I've been hearing rumors that the Essential Life book is coming back. So those haven't been confirmed yet, but the AI tool was just a stopgap, just a short-term fix while the book was out of print. So to anyone asking about the AI tool, I would just point them to the Essential Life app. The cool thing about the app is it not only has the whole Essential Life book, it also has community recipes. So let's say somebody has a favorite blend for bee stings, right? The community might post those recipes in the app. And so that's stuff that you wouldn't get in the AI tool that you can get through the app. Becky says, do you know if the Modern Essentials book is coming back too? So the Modern Essentials book was out of print. They didn't get their new edition done in time for convention last year, but they did get it done in time for leadership. So if you came to leadership, you saw they had a store there. They had little pop-up, room that they had full of all their products. And Modern Essentials, the hardback, was available there. So they still have it on their website. So yes, Modern Essentials is available now. So you don't need to wait for that one. All right, well, we're waiting for the next question. Again, just raise your hand if you've got a question. Then I'll just do a shameless plug for the trainings around convention. So if you go to sharesuccess.com/convention, you'll see a calendar there. And each of these calendar items is a link to that event. So we've got the Essential Emotions training that'll be happening the Wednesday before convention from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then we've got our business training, the one that I said that we were masterminding yesterday. That'll be from 2 to 8 p.m. And then for those of you who love Jo, maybe you've tried her in the Essential Motions app, she will be doing a somatic movement class from 9 to 10. That'll be experiential. We'll have yoga mats. You can try the whole emotional release process. That one sold out last year and filled up. So I highly recommend that you grab your ticket for that. I think it's like $10. And then here's the rest of the week. So we've got, got convention filling most of the week. A lot of teams are doing their parties Friday night. And then we've got an open house Saturday from 2 to 8. And then we've got, if anybody's interested in the history of Utah, Sunday is a great time to just do a little stroll and also hear from the Tabernacle Choir. So it's a world famous choir. They do a free performance. This is this is a free ticket to come and hear the Tabernacle and learn some of the history of the area. So you're going to want to be at the emotions training and the business training. Those are two that if I were you, I would not miss. We've got a power lineup. We've got Matt Hall speaking. We've got Lindsay Norman. We're going to have some awesome presenters. So don't miss the business training and the emotions training. Okay, Ruth is asking, can you explain how to identify innovators, early adopters, early majority, et cetera, and how to meet the needs of the different groups? All right, I love this question. So let me pull that back up so that we can have a visual as we're talking through each of the different groups. So innovators, these are visionaries. These are people who love ideas. They love the philosophy of a product. And when Steve Jobs made that ad for Apple, and these are the crazy ones, that was a message to innovators. In fact, I love that video so much. I think we should watch it. Here's to the crazy ones, right? Anyone remember that? Here's to the crazy ones. So, yeah, I mean, I just get chills thinking about this video. So let me, I think if I share screen with audio, then you'll get a better experience. So let's watch Apple's message to innovators and learn from them.
Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. While some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
Oh my gosh. I don't know about you, but I get emotional every time I watch that ad. Probably because I'm an innovator. Natalie and I fall squarely in that first section. Okay, where did it go? Um, did I just close it? I had a tab. There it is. Okay. So, um, what did the ad actually went so far as to um, describe the innovators? It described them as these people are not fond of the rules. These are the square pegs in round holes. They don't fit in and they don't try to fit in. They're they're the ones who are crazy enough to think they can change the world. And because of that, they're the ones who do. So Apple knew that in order to start to grab market share, they needed to first speak to the innovators. And so that's who that ad spoke to, and that's who they reached. They crushed it. I mean, I don't know a better success story than the iPhone and Apple in general. You know, I think they're the most valuable company on earth right now. So if not, it might be Tesla or Nvidia. I think I've heard that they've been vying for number one. So Apple is up there in the top three. So that's the innovators. The early adopters, they're they're similar, but not quite as crazy. So the innovators might be the ones who would camp out for 3 days at the Apple store to get the latest iPhone. They don't need to know that it works. They don't need to know that that 50 people, that it has 500 reviews, online, that it has all these tech, they don't need to know that the battery has been tested over thousands of hours. Like they're going to camp out um, to be there. The early adopters, they might wait a week or two. They might be the group in the first year to buy the latest iPhone. They still like to try new things. They don't need as much social proof, but they might need a little bit. So let's talk doTERRA um, specifically. So doTERRA attracted a lot of innovators in the early days. These were people who didn't need doTERRA to be a big company for them to jump on board. They didn't need a lot of peer-reviewed studies on essential oils to jump in and try them. But these were outside-the-box thinkers who said, "Yeah, oils feel right. There's my intuition says this is a good thing. I'm already open to natural. Maybe I use herbs. Maybe I use supplements." And so that's um, the way you can spot innovators and early adopters. These are people who love to talk about ideas. They love to talk about high level concepts. Many love to think about the future and what's possible, what hasn't been created yet. So that's how you would spot innovators and early adopters. Early majority are people who they need some more science. They need some more facts. They love um, research papers. They love scientific boards. They love to hear from experts. They like to hear um, uh, reviews. That there needs to be a significant number of reviews. So when we started talking to Amy Fulmer, I think she's early majority, and I think a lot of her team is early and late majority. And so when I look at Amy's PowerPoints, lots of facts, lots of statistics. It's very data heavy. Um, and she cites lots of research. She cites um, what was the group in New York that did the analysis of how doTERRA single-handedly put essential oils on the map. I'll think of it here in a sec. So, that stuff matters to them. So when you're talking to someone who's in the early and late majority, they they're talking about facts, figures, research. They need to know how many reviews it has. The laggards are still talking about their cassettes and their what are those? There's the other 8-track. And I'm being a little bit facetious here, but the laggards, they don't want new technology. They don't want new ideas. They're literally like, they might buy a shampoo with essential oils only because there are no other shampoos out there without essential oils. And so most people in marketing are not targeting laggards. They're focused on catching this group, because that, if you capture enough of the early adopters, you will capture the early and late majority. So that's a natural byproduct of hitting this growth curve, the S curve. So, so that's, yeah, I think that pretty much covers how to spot them and how to speak to them. You spot them by, I mean, these innovators are eccentric. You know, that's what that Apple video showed. They're not rule followers. They make their own rules. They make their own path. And then same thing with the early adopters. You know, not fond of rules. They're also outside the box thinkers. So yeah. So maybe put in the chat if that covers the how to spot and speak to people in different sections of the diffusion of innovation. Okay. Mila is asking, will a Reimagine business training be recorded? Maybe. Will it be live streamed? No. We have found, learned by hard experience, that live stream is such a subpar experience that that we just don't live stream events anymore. You'll spend $4,000 to $6,000 to live stream it, and the experience will be so subpar that we don't even try. So the answer to what will be recorded is maybe. We haven't got bids back, and so I've got a question here. What is the chasm about? So let's go back to the graphic. So basically, it's this idea that a lot of products will reach a lot of innovators and early adopters just because it's new, because it's different. As long as they're, you know, hitting some of those chords for them of this is new and worth taking a look at, they'll hit those people. The chasm is if you never tap into the early majority, you'll never reach the late majority. And so the chasm is, can I create momentum with this group, and can I create a message that reaches this group? Because if you don't, then your product will never reach more than, you know, a 16% saturation, or a 16% market share. So, you know, most companies are going for a lot more than 16% market share. So that's the chasm. The chasm is, can you create an offering, a message that can connect for the early and late majority? And that's why they call the chasm kind of like this tipping point. Because if you can bridge that chasm, then you'll hit the early and late majority. Awesome. So Crystal says, if you feel like you're more of a late majority, how can you move yourself to become an innovator? I have to apologize here because I get so inspired by that ad and that message because I'm an innovator. that I think I glorified the innovators. There's nothing good, bad, or better about any of these groups. So if I were you, I wouldn't try to change who you are. That's not my message, and I apologize if I've conveyed that. Um, you don't need to be any different than you are. In fact, the more you understand who you are, the more you'll be able to reach um, people like you. And the more you understand this curve, the more you can reach people of all different types. So yeah, don't try to change yourself. I don't think that's a recipe for success. Um, okay, Sophia is raising her hand. So, and yes, I'll put a link to the ad. Um, man, I could probably watch that ad every day of my life and grab something new. Hi, Sophia.
Hi, Andy. How are
How are
you?
you?
Good, good. And you?
Great, thanks.
Great. I have a question, a like hard question, more like
Sure.
hard than anything else this time. I'm having trouble to find clarity in my vision and my why. So I think I know it. That's why I'm kind of like still here. But every single time I have some trouble, I always think I'm going back to corporate. I'm like, I'm just gonna go back, like
Uh-huh.
losing my time. This is not for me. I'm wasting my time. I'm not good. I know, of course, I know the potential, but sometimes I'm like, is that actually available for me? Like, am I able to do it? And then I'm like always thinking, I'm like, I'm gonna go back to corporate. I keep getting on LinkedIn, I keep getting like job offers, which I keep
Mm.
rejecting. So I'm like,
Uh,
sometimes I feel stupid, because I'm so so every time I have trouble, I think about that. But I'm not doing it, like I don't want to do it. It's like I don't want to go, I don't want to be in an office, I don't want to have the 9 to 5, 9 to 6 job. I don't want to have a boss, I don't want to have commit to schedule, like all that stuff. But so I keep changing, and of course, my message to the universe is confused. It's like, do you want it or not?
mm-hmm.
But yeah, but I keep like every time I'm afraid, I'm like, I'm not good enough. I should just
Mm.
go back to what I was good.
Mm. So share with us what is your why? What is your vision?
Well, that's the thing, I'm having trouble because it's like, first I want to pay the bills, of course.
You want to be what?
Be able to pay the bills, like be
Okay,
able
pay the bills.
to, yeah,
Okay.
like that's for now we're still living on my savings from where I used to work in corporate.
Mm.
Um, so it's like, but I'm all the time having like a TikTok clock that those savings are not gonna last forever.
Mm-hmm.
We're already been living like more than a year from those savings, and it's like, okay, like I need to get results. But of course, it's coming from a scarcity mindset because I'm
Sure.
thinking like this is not gonna last. But my why is kind of like be able to be home or to be free. Or sometimes I think like I want to help people. I want to help other moms. I want to help other moms feel empowered and be
Mm-hmm.
able to work from home. Um, be able to be there for the kids and not be overwhelmed because of job or not be too busy. Or I used to travel for work, so I was like away also a lot. So, and that's what brought me back, like was like, oh, this is actually an option that I could
Mm.
earn the same or more than I'm earning,
Mm-hmm.
but be able to be home.
Mm.
But I feel like if I target the people in corporate world, I'm a few. I'm like a few of the actually brave ones that I quit my job. I'm like, I'm gonna do this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so then it's like, okay, should I target? Because then when I think about moms, a lot of the moms sometimes are busy or like they're just like the ones that really care about their kids.
Mm-hmm.
They care so much about their kids that they don't care about having an entrepreneurship.
Mm,
You know, because when you're trying to build a business, you still need to have some time and like do something.
sure.
There's some moments that you're not with the kids. So
Yeah.
so yeah, I don't know.
Okay. So what I'm hearing you say is your vision is to work from home, and your why is to be free. And it sounds like you're especially feeling called to connect with moms and entrepreneurs. Um, you feel called to be present in your home, and you want to help others do the same. Um, and so that it sounds like that's the vision, right? To
Yes. But then when I look at moms that want to be present, they don't really want to build a business. And then when I
Mhm.
look at corporate moms, I don't think they really, well, maybe I'm being too judgy here, but at least when I work in the corporate world and the women I saw there, they they love having the nannies, you know?
Yeah.
They love like having being like a helicopter mom, or maybe
Mm.
not all of them. Yeah, maybe I'm being really judgy here.
Yeah.
But yeah. So it's like
Awesome.
fine, because of course I went through a big personal process to actually be able to, I'm gonna quit that where I felt really safe.
Hmm.
But I had a baby that was like, okay, this is not working out.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so first of all, um, let's go into your desire to be free. You've been in the corporate world. You know what it's like to work for someone else, to be 9 to 5, and to be building someone else's dream. What's that like?
There's no purpose. You feel empty.
Yeah. It feels like it's sucking your soul, right?
Yeah.
You're just, yeah. So why does being free to build your own dream matter? Why is that important to you?
Because it feels like you're doing something like from the heart, like you're actually
Yeah.
doing something that fills you up, like it
Yeah.
makes you happy.
Right. Yeah. I mean, your soul matters.
Yeah.
Like if you're putting in 40 hours either way, like you can't have those 40 hours be draining your soul. Like you need to be filling your cup. If you're going to be out there creating value, like it's got to be building your dream, not somebody else's. It's got to be building the things you want, and not somebody else's empire, right?
Mm.
So why is that important to you?
Just to be flexible and be able to do what I want when I want,
Mhm.
like not to ask permission to go to a doctor's appointment, not to ask permission to go to a school presentation, not to ask permission because like you always have to ask permission when you have to do something on time, on your times.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. So if I were you, I would craft a statement that helps you capture what you're saying right now. Like, I own my life, and I refuse to allow someone else to own my life, to own my time, to own my permission, to do what I want when I want. Because that's, to me, um, this is what will move you. The clarity that you get around why that matters to you. Like I can tell you have an independent spirit. And so keeping that independence is one of your core values.
mhm.
And so make a mission statement, make a vision statement, maybe make a vision board. I love the suggestion that Becky's putting in or sorry, Karina is putting in the chat, um, because um, it's it's a risk, right? I mean, that's why people trade in their independence for a 9 to 5 job is for that security. And so you are choosing the risky path. And that's why you need vision. That's why you need a why to move you through the scary part, the risk. So that's my first coaching is to first get clear and maybe partner with ChatGPT to help you write a mission statement, around your independence and your time, owning your choices. So that's my first coaching for you, and same thing for anybody on this call. Clarity leads to certainty, and certainty leads to power. So if you want to move people, then access that power. If you want to inspire people to join you in a movement, get clear on your vision and your mission. So that's my first coaching. The second coaching that I would give you is be careful the beliefs that you bring to the prospects that you're talking about. You brought up some concerns about women who work, right? Maybe they don't care about the things you care about, right? Maybe they don't care enough to take the jump. Maybe another belief that you brought is they're not going to be as crazy to quit their job and do this full time as me. So one thing that I would question there is, do they need to? Do people need to do doTERRA full time in order to have any level of success?
No, I actually got to premiere when I was still working.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So just be careful the beliefs that you choose. Same thing with the stay-at-home moms. Maybe they care too much about their children. Maybe they are too focused there, and so they don't want to be an entrepreneur. Is that true? I would argue that 90% of the team that we've built is, moms who just want to make a difference. Sometimes it's a small difference, sometimes it's a big difference, but that's who most of our team is. And so just be careful the beliefs that you pick up. And that's that's how you create your reality, is through your beliefs. So first, get clear on your mission statement, and second, manage your beliefs.
Thank you.
Does that land for you?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on, Sophia. It's always good to see your face.
Thank you. See you.
We'll see ya. Okay, so Crystal is asking a question. What are your suggestions for using social media to build without getting caught in the time suck that seems to take over? Okay, I love this question so much. And last week, we shared a tool, and I've already forgotten the name of the website. So if anybody was on there last week, could you remind me what that was? It's a tool where you can go on and you just work with somebody else for like 40 minutes, or FocusMate. Okay, there you go. So if you're worried about, maybe you want to build online, maybe you've got some great strategies, maybe you just watched the Matt Hall video, and if you haven't watched that yet, go to sharesuccess.com/international. That is a must-watch video, and it's not just for people who want to build internationally. You could take that principle and you could apply it to a million different demographics, niches, however you want to build. In fact, there are some other companies that are, tanking right now. Many of you saw Modere crash and burn. Many of you saw Rodan and Fields completely abandon their network marketing arm. Seint, S-E-I-N-T, they did the same thing. So you could take these principles that Matt Hall teaches in his video and apply it to other network marketers. And you can do it in a really clean way that's not sleazy. It's not like a vulture. So let's say you want to do this on social media, but you're worried that you're just going to slip into the time suck. Go to focusmate.com and sign up to do what they call body doubling. So you just sign up. I think you can do for free. You can do like um, 3 sessions a week. Yeah. So just give it a try, try 3 sessions a week where basically you're going to start out by saying, what your goal is. So they're going to pair you with somebody, and maybe your goal is, I'm going to contact 20 new people during this 45-minute work session. And then at the end of that, you're going to have to be accountable to this stranger for what you did. So if you have to tell a stranger, sorry, I just scrolled for 45 minutes and I totally went into brain rot mode, then that's going to be hard to do. It's funny how humans, it doesn't take very much accountability for us to create really great results. And so that's what this does. It gives you, especially for people like us who love our independence, right? Like that's why we do network marketing, is because we want to be free. We want to own our schedule. So just hop on FocusMate. And if you're going to do social media, create some boundaries. Like, I'm going to come to this. Oh, it looks like it's 25, 50, and 75-minute work sessions. So whatever that time frame is, I'm going to be accountable and give this person my goals, and then I'm going to report on it at the end of our session together. So those are my tips for how to avoid the time suck that is built into social media. I hope you all know that the only reason these apps exist is to suck your time. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, the only thing they're selling is your attention. And companies are paying bajillions of dollars to buy your attention. And so they're going to throw whatever that they have, very sophisticated algorithms that calculate what it is that you want to see. And they'll just throw more of that at you to suck more of your time, because that's what they're selling. So be fully aware of that, and be a creator, not a consumer, and use social media to connect and find new people. Do not be a victim of the time suck that it can be. So, all right, so there's the link somebody asked for, focusmate.com, MATE. Such a great little tool. And if you want, you could set up an accountability partner in doTERRA. That's another great way to do it. Okay, yes, I love what Debbie said. The hard part of being your own boss is bossing yourself. That's a great way to say it. So dang true. It takes self-discipline. So use tools like FocusMate. Very, very simple and effective tools. All right, what are the questions you have for us today? I put the link to the Apple ad in the chat. If you forget it, just go to YouTube and search Apple. Here's the crazy ones. If you like ads, another great ad is Apple. Just go to YouTube and search Apple 1984. That's another great message targeted to the innovators and early adopters. Okay. Any other questions today? Just raise your hand or put it in the chat. Okay, well, if not, it's been an awesome session. Thank you so much for just being you. Thank you for giving yourself this space and this time to improve yourself. I hope that you will continue on a daily basis to invest in you. It's the best investment we've ever made, and I'm sure it will be the best you ever make. So keep up the good work, and we'll see you next week.